You are currently living in a stretch of time that you likely treat as infinite. But here is a hard truth that stops the scroll. You are not waiting for your life to begin. You are currently watching the only life you will ever have leak away in 20-minute increments of distraction and indecision. For many of us, between 35 and 65, the high-stakes pressure of a mortgage, a career that feels like a treadmill, or the friction of a family that needs more of us than we have to give, creates a fog. We tell ourselves that once things settle down, we will finally build that legacy or find that peace. But the world doesn't pause when you're tired, and it certainly doesn't slow down to let you catch your breath. Consider the life of Marcus Aurelius. He wasn't just a philosopher writing pretty quotes in a quiet garden. He was the most powerful man on earth, ruling the Roman Empire while it was being torn apart by a devastating plague and endless border wars. He had every excuse to be too busy or too stressed to focus on his character. Yet, in his private journals, he didn't complain about the weight of the crown. He reminded himself that he could leave life right now, and that realization should determine every word he spoke and every action he took. He knew that time was his most limited resource and that his legacy wouldn't be found in marble statues, but in the quality of his thoughts and the integrity of his service to others. Legacy isn't a trophy you get at the end of a long career. It is the firm purpose you carry into the room today. Without a clear destination, you are just a ship drifting aimlessly on a vast ocean, subject to every shift in the wind. Finding your purpose, your unique reason for being, or ikigai, is about finding the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, and what the world actually needs from you. It is crafted through moments of deep reflection and honesty, digging beyond superficial desires to find what genuinely drives you. Here is a realization that most people in their 50s refuse to face. We talk about leaving a legacy for our children or the world because it feels noble, but often it's just a mask for our own ego. True legacy is actually invisible. It isn't about being remembered, it's about how you changed the emotional baseline of the people you touched today. If you are stressed and reactive, that is your legacy in real time. If you are still, you are building a foundation that survives you. To build that stillness, you must master your mind before 8 The first hour of your day is a battlefield where you decide if you are a participant in life or just a bystander. Your mind in the morning is like wet cement. Whatever touches it first leaves a permanent print. For most, that first touch is a notification, a news headline, or an email that hands over their piece to someone else's agenda. Winners don't hope for a good day, they engineer it before the noise starts. Try this tactical shift tomorrow. Treat 7:59 a.m. as a psychological deadline, a hard stop point where you belong to yourself. Before that clock hits 8, you are the commander. You filter what enters your mind, slowing down your brain while the rest of the world is in a panicked rush. By claiming that throne first, your emotions, excuses, and impulses are forced to bow to your intention rather than the other way around. Many people think that quality time is a special category of life we save for vacations or weekends. This is a myth we've invented to justify the fact that we aren't present during the other 90% of our lives. There is no such thing as quality time, there is only time. When you are on a conference call thinking about dinner, or at dinner thinking about work, you are effectively erasing your existence. Legacy is the ability to be fully present in the mundane, until the mundane becomes meaningful. As you build this new discipline, you must learn to work in silence and celebrate in private. In a world that rewards shouting your plans from the rooftops, there is a dangerous trap. When you announce your goals too early, you invite the doubt and envy of others into your soil, and the praise you receive for simply announcing your dream can trick your brain into thinking the work is already done. The Stoics taught that your worth is not determined by the approval of others, and greatness doesn't need a trumpet. It announces itself through undeniable results. Your final payoff is the realization that life rewards consistency, not excuses. A single workout or one day of focus won't build a legacy, but the daily act of keeping a promise to yourself will. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your training. When you stop asking why me and start asking what can I learn, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone toward the person you are becoming. Take your first step today by identifying one thing you've been putting off because you thought you had more time. Do it now, or schedule the first movement for before 8 a.m. tomorrow. Remember that life waits for nobody, and the world will move on without you if you don't take command. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." If you agree that this perspective changes how you'll approach tomorrow, or if you have an experience where remembering the shortness of life helped you win a personal battle, share it in the comments with the phrase, "I rise with life."